what energy. I keep doing these events like almost every week. But I think I'll start recommending people that you should start it with a national anthem. Just energizes you. Thank you so much, sir, for your stories and some lovely work which you're doing. So congratulations for that. So guys, you can hear me? So a lot of young students in the room, a lot of senior leaders. I think there's a context which is needed on this topic, and let me try and dumb it down and simplify it. Firstly, thank you to my friends. All top CMOs in the country, I proudly say they're my friends because I collaborate with them. And together we do some great body of work because like we were discussing, there's no briefing format to drive innovation. You got to co-create with people, with partners, with clients, and trying and understanding what's in it for each of these stakeholders. And then you are able to create a lot of meaningful work together. So we started with this fabulous national anthem, which takes India as center stage. Truly, when I started my journey, the intent was just to win awards in India and global forums, and a lot of my friends are here and they know that I used to work for awards initially. 5 years of my journey was all about winning awards and jumping around on the stage, that I won something big. And then gradually as experience kicks in, you start thinking that you've got a larger purpose. With innovation, you can do so much more. The power of data, tech, comms, creativity, if you bring it together, it's such a powerful space that you can start creating really powerful work for India. And to lead the way comes Honorable PM Modi and all his initiatives. So there's so much learning which I get from these initiatives, and a lot of my work which you see today, which happens down rural, it's pretty much an instance of the product or the platform which he leverages in his, mundane campaign, so to say. And a lot of it, inspiration also comes in from our global partnerships. Being at WPP is a privilege because you get to learn from the best in the business in WPP and also globally. So you get to learn from a visionary leader in India, from MIB and all the work which they are doing, and then you get to learn from big tech folks, and then you get to learn from brand marketers. And you are rightly placed at the center to do meaningful work out there. So when I look at India, we are saying there are 1.5 billion people in the Indian market, richly populated. And when we are saying there are 1 billion people who are connected on mobility. Are you with me? 1 billion लोगों के पास mobile phones हैं. Of which we are saying there are 350 million guys who do not have internet on their phone. The classic feature phone audiences. That also are there in India, right? So the planet has 1 billion plus feature phones. India has close to 30-35% of that volume still sits in India, right? Predominantly in global south and sub-Saharan Africa, you will find a lot of these phones. And the same India has got 200 million people who are on elevated speeds of 5G, which is clocking better network, better speeds than European market. The sheer volume is much higher than US market, right? So I work at the intersection of these two audience segments, which I call it many Indias, right? So the audience who do not have apps, screens, internet on their phone, how do you take the intelligent era to those guys? Where they need information the most, a basic piece of information, and they can take a lot of amazing decisions in their life. Because of the lack of information, they suffer, right? I'll just give you some use cases, and this is a very, very, initial context is needed because a lot of young guys in the crowd, I mean, all of us keep doing this day in, day out, and we speak to a lot of consumers, and that defines the kind of work which you're going to see. And more, as the experience kicked in, I said, I don't want to do more of, talking about AI. When AI kicked in, I said, we should do more with AI than just go out there in the forums and start talking about AI, that AI is here to change comms, you can do content with AI. Every single media touch point today has got an AI play, right? Every single consumer is using AI in a big way. You need to understand that where is the gap. How can brand marketers walk in? How do you move from campaign thinking, जो हम award जीतने के लिए करते थे, to platform thinking now? And on that platform, why one story? Thousands of brand storytelling can get invoked. A lot of them would be purposeful. A lot of them would be to sell an eventual product which the brand is trying to sell. But the balance is super duper critical, right? Now, in that journey, when I walked in 5 years back, I created a platform for Godrej. Again, with Ajay, then we had a platform which is Fastcart ki Pathshala. Any of you heard about it? So any campaign we do, and this classic we learnt it from Ajay Dang, a legendary leader at Ultratech, and I think first time when I met him, used to have blonde hair from college and all, very, this guy knows me very well. And Ajay tells me, कभी गाँव गया भी है, इतनी strategy बना रहा है गाँव के बारे में, इसको भेजो research पे. And I actually go for research and I try and understand what's happening out there. And it's immense learning. When you speak to consumer, you understand context and you can come back to the drawing board and then start designing campaigns. So we designed a campaign called Fast Cart Ki Pathshala. Why we designed it? Because बिहार में इंग्लिश सीखना एक बहुत बड़ा क्रेज था, राइट? इंग्लिश में अगर एक छोटा स्टेटमेंट भी आप सिखा दो तो इट्स अ वेरी बिग थिंग. सो वी सेड क्या आप 100 रुपए के फ़ोन पे एडवोकेट्स बना सकते हो? द आंसर वाज नो. एडवोकेट्स कैसे बनाओगे? वो तो डिस्कनेक्टेड ऑडियंस है. सो वी स्टार्टेड टीचिंग देम स्मॉल इंग्लिश स्टेटमेंट्स. मिस कॉल दिया, कॉल आया, सुप्रभात को इंग्लिश में कहते हैं गुड मॉर्निंग, बीप के बाद आप बोलें गुड मॉर्निंग. सो गाय सेज गुड मॉर्निंग विद सम डिक्शन. अगले दिन मॉर्निंग, सरपंच जी गुड मॉर्निंग. सरपंच जी भाई तेरे को अंग्रेजी किसने सिखाई? तो वो बोलता है गोदरेज ने सिखाई. भाई ये चुटकुला कहाँ से सीखा तूने? यूनिलीवर ने सिखाया. या दैट्स व्हेन टन्स ऑफ यूज केसेस स्टार्टेड मूविंग इन, रिन फिनिशिंग स्कूल, घर से करियर एकेडमी, लॉट ऑफ पर्पसफुल कैंपेन्स, गावी अराउंड वैक्सीनेशन. सो बीइंग अ WPP you get this access to 600 clients. So many of them are chasing purpose. There's a division called public health. So you constantly get challenges out there and you can do meaningful work with lot of control out there. And then when AI kicked in, the only thing which was buzzing in my mind, because when a transformation era moves in, like Mr. Bhatia, if you say, and when he looked at AI, he must be looking at AI in his own zone. कि मैं dog lover सोचेगा कि मैं उनके लिए क्या कर सकता हूँ, right? Or someone else would think that every leader will think AI, this transformation era, from their own orbit. Someone will say, I will drive performance, I will make more money. Someone will say, I want to drive this purpose. Someone will say, I want to educate somebody. There's so much you can do out there, right? So my head was buzzing, saying that 350 million people do not have internet. What if we take the intelligent era all the way to the bottom of the pyramid? It will be a game changer out there. And because of Modi ji, because of good governance, lot of money started moving into these people's accounts. So genuinely you see in rural India, there's money which has come in people's account. That's why top marketers are chasing them, which was not the case earlier. Talk to any top brand today, they would say that design a solution for rural India, growth is coming in from there, right? All we did was we got bunch of partnerships in place, the telecom infrastructure, used the Sarvam AI plugin, which is a Make in India startup. Bharat GPT, Ankush, very good friend, I did a campaign with him. Got all these plugins together, and now on a 100 rupee phone, when a rural guy calls in, he can speak to Gemini. He can speak, forget Gemini, he can speak to a very, very intelligent platform and not the old school IVRS, right? Once that happens, then I go to my friends. So I go to Kanupriya and I say, I have designed this campaign, what do you think, how we can leverage it, right? The platform is designed. It's not that I wait for a requirement to come in and then we design a campaign. Because what AI brings in today in modern day marketing is super duper agility. Impossible is nothing. जो आपने कभी सोचा भी नहीं था, आप अभी ये कर सकते हो, right? And the ability to do it in the most agile fashion and very, very quick. With lot of agility, आप चीज़ों को कर सकते हो. पहले क्या होता था? हम मीटिंग में जाते थे कि ये भी दिखाते, ये देखो न्यूयॉर्क में किसी ने किया है. वो तो मैंने 5 साल पहले करना ही बंद ही कर दिया. इंडिया करेगा, इंडिया ड्राइविंग सीट पे है, हमारे पास सब कुछ वो है आज की तारीख में प्रोटोटाइप्स बनाने के लिए. Why do we say कि इस मार्केट में इस बंदे ने ये कैंपेन किया है? So that's how 4 years back we launched our Creative Technology Experience Center. I go to our leaders and I say we are doing some fabulous work across our operating companies. If we can create a small space where we can bring alive all this work without agenda, start calling clients and start prototyping and brainstorming, and with a thumb rule, there'll be no AVs, there'll be no presentations, there'll be only experiences, which they will get to experience in live environment. And kudos to our partnership that actually happened. So we leverage the Startup Accelerator program, which I lead, so I get a lot of agility from the startup guys, also the big tech folks, like Google is one of our top partners. I'll give you another very, very amazing story. When the AI conversations were moving from LLMs, ChatGPT आप use कर रहे हो, उससे when it was moving to LAMs, which is large action models, and I was undergoing a training at Google in the headquarters in London, and they were showing me some early prototypes. They were focusing the phone on something, and the phone was talking back at you, which is now a common thing, right? So everyone started thinking, oh my God, I can build this experience, that experience. And my thing was, from there I call my friend Amar Jain. He's a Supreme Court lawyer. He's born blind. I call him and I tell him, Amar, एक solid solution मिल गया है. तो he's like, क्या solution मिला है? तो मैंने बोला, AI को आंखें मिल गई हैं. चल तेरे लिए कुछ बनाते हैं, right? Because अब तुम phone को point करोगे तो phone देख सकता है और वो big data से connect करके तेरे साथ बात कर सकता है.
You know, I thought Amar Jain will jump and he'll say, let's start creating something. But what Amar tells me, इसमें कौन सी बड़ी बात है? मेरे एक friend जो देख नहीं सकता, उसने एक application है उसके पास called Bima Eyes. Now what Bima Eyes does is कि, for example, आप होटल के अंदर जाते हो, अमर जाता है और अमर को पता नहीं है कि ये कंडीशनर है या शैम्पू है या मॉइस्चराइजर है, तो वो बीमा आइस ट्रिगर करता है. वहाँ पे कोई बंदा हमारे जैसा पुण्य कमाने के लिए बैठा है, बिकॉज रोड क्रॉस तो करवा नहीं सकते हो अभी आप, किसी को चलने की जगह नहीं है, वी आर मोस्ट पॉपुलस, तो लोग ऐसे पुण्य कमाते हैं. दे कम एंड से दिस इज अ कंडीशनर अमर, सो अमर नोज अच्छा ये कंडीशनर है, यू नो, शैम्पू की तरह यूज़ नहीं करना है. आई सेड दिस इज ऑल द मोर पावरिंग ना लैम्प्स. What you can do now is you can point at something and the AI will talk back at you. You are not dependent on anyone. That's how we went ahead and we created a retail shopping experience with Amar Jain for Britannia, and we call it Britannia AI, right? So all these things which I'm talking about, that was not a possibility earlier, but now suddenly it has become a possibility. So let's just hear some experiences what we have co-created with our clients and partners and friends. We'll start with Kanupriya, maybe a quick heads up on many Indias. And then how this is such a high engagement category, you know, because एक बंदा अपनी ज़िंदगी में सबसे महंगी इन्वेस्टमेंट करने जा रहा है, घर बनाने जा रहा है, जो हम लोग नहीं बनाते यहाँ पर, बट घर खरीदते हैं जो भी सबसे बड़ा इन्वेस्टमेंट है. सो वेरी वेरी अ कैटेगरी विच इज़ अ लाइफ चेंजर. व्हेन वी गो टू कंज्यूमर रिसर्च एंड वी स्पीक टू देम, बंदा एक सपने के साथ जीता है कि मेरा खुद का घर बनेगा, राइट? एंड टू सपोर्ट देम इन दिस जर्नी इज नॉट जस्ट विद अ कमर्शियल इंटेंट, बट इट्स सो मच मोर टू इट. And how it's being designed for super highways of 5G. See, with so much speed, what will you do? 5G वीडियो देखने के लिए नहीं है ना. 10 Mbps पे हमने बहुत सारा वीडियो बिंज वॉचिंग किया, एक इंडस्ट्री बन गई, नेटफ्लिक्स देखा हमने. 200 Mbps पे क्या करोगे? वीडियो फास्ट थोड़ी चलने वाला है. You will invest in computing. Experiences will transform. Everything that's 2D will transform to 3D. How has that happened in real life with Ultratech is what you should listen to this use case, and we talk more.
Thanks, Niraj. It is always, you know, I always hear him with a lot of wonder in my eyes every time he speaks, because he's too fast. He's very fast for me as well. We do very basic things. So when we say Ultratech, yes, is a large organization. We in Bombay, and thanks for, okay, shout out to the folks who came from outside Bombay. You all got good weather for us. So thank you very much for that. But most of us are urban. Rural India, like you know, Niraj just mentioned, is different, yet is it important for organizations? It is my bread and butter. So I do not earn, so I don't think very many people know this, but more than 70% of the turnover of Ultratech is rural. So there are people, or semi-urban. So rural and urban are getting mixed up now. So the Kanpur Dehats and the Kanpurs are getting very, very mixed up now. And people still build their homes. Unlike in Bandra and Andheri and Churchgate, where there is no space to even buy a flat or means. There, with even limited means, people have plots of land, people build their homes, the people build their homes for posterity. Not just that, it's getting younger. So the average age of home building, one would think is 50, 60 maybe. It's actually 30. So the action is all happening there. I love it when Niraj we speak to, because he's very cued in. He keeps claiming that he's an urban international fellow, but he's actually a Dehati at heart, right? Because when we speak to him, I'm like, you know, वहाँ के लिए कुछ करना है, you shouldn't think of this, you should think of telephony. They don't have this, what are you doing? So I think that's a great wake up that we get. And as brand marketers, it's extremely both enabling and humbling to say, how can I make this great technology that I'm using for just, you know, getting my PPT done in 5 minutes, to get a guy to build his life ki jama punji, in which he's going to spend 2 years of his life. 70% of his life's earnings is going to go there, not savings. 70% of his life's earning is going to go into that house. And that's the guy who I need to enable, because tons of mistakes happen. We are blessed with having, you know, builders who build the house. We just go check out something and take it, whereas they take those calls, you know, what material to put, when to put it, how to put it, crack aa gaya, ab main kya karoon? You know, so it's not about making a good home, it's about making a lasting home which their next generation gets enabled with. So homes are very enabling for people like this. It is not just a roti kapda makan basic need. It's what will move their generations out of poverty. That could be a burden, but that's extremely enabling for us thanks to technology now. So what we were able to do is to say that there are roughly about 10 million homes getting built at any given point. So India is populous, and this is happening across. We are still 60% semi-urban to rural. Rural numbers are coming down, but semi-urban isn't. And we see a large amount of people wanting to stay back. That attraction of Bombay and Delhi is no longer there. Life's very difficult here. Social structures aren't there. Money evaporates, and hence a lot of people in the so-called Kanpur Dehats want to be there. With enablement of entertainment and access, they now feel that they can make their lives aspirational where they are. Having said that, they still don't have access to engineers. They still don't have access to quality construction people. And that's where Ultratech came in and said that, okay, how can we have a great we are truly Desh ka number one, not from numbers and all that is fine, you all will read that, but from a distribution standpoint. So we are available in every district of the country, including Leh Ladakh. So I think that comes with responsibility, that if homes are getting built in different terrains, how do we enable them to not build wrong? Because that is completely not sustainable, right? I mean, if you build wrong, the cement is made, you have to only break it down. That's not correct. It's also a responsibility on the lives of people, because people will live there and it could become unsafe. So I think that responsibility weighed in on us, and we said, how can we make a handful of engineers accessible to everybody in the country? And that's where the technology really came to help us. While creating on-ground expressions is easier, creating online expressions where people are not readers. The great thing about small town India is that they don't read. They behave like my teenage daughter, I think. So they love watching videos. They love conversing with people. They listen to their peers more than one lady sitting and giving them gyan. So I think that's the commonality between my teenage daughter and the people building homes in rural India. Wow. Yeah. So I think given that, we said that, okay, how can we make an engineer talk to them? Till some time back, I did it with telephony. I had an IVR call center, but it just didn't do it for them. The diction wasn't right. People call the same construction element different in different parts of the country. Every 200 kilometers, it changes. So, what is called Mutia somewhere is called something else somewhere else. And just to train my people was getting a bit of a challenge. AI is great for that. So when ML started, we were able to put that all into place. And with Mindshare, we built something on a chat platform first. We took it then to a visual platform where you could just scan the Ultratech logo and a QR code, and an engineer would literally walk through your phone. We worked really hard to make the tech light. Completely, we designed it for a 5,000 rupee smartphone. Wow. So the brief was that it needs to be, and he's right, there are no briefs because the people around us are our darwans and our drivers. I said, uske phone pe chalega, so we are done. I am not the person who's going to approve this. So I think NIRAJ and team came back with, partner after partner, and it is great that how India's ingenuity works. Because he's absolutely right in saying that, all I need is a room full of Indian engineers who want to make something possible for the country. Wow. And I think that worked. So thank you for NIRAJ for, getting me the ecosystem, because it took, I think, about 3 or 4 odd kind of guys to
wake up now. This is a very
kind of put it all together. So it was great. So that was the first round. Second round, we've taken up third round rather. The second round, we got GPT involved. So we said that, engineer to bol raha hai, but kya wo sun raha hai? And then came the chat GPT place, in which we said that, okay, if he asks a question, we should be able to give him an answer where it's relevant. So if it's a hilly land versus the plains of Maharashtra, he should give something else. So can I build in an API which just, recognizes that you're calling from a hilly soil versus a plain soil? I think that is working very well for us as well. then we said that what about the guys who don't have a smartphone? So Neeraj keeps asking us these questions. कि उनके लिए तो तुमने कर लिया, इनका क्या है? 300. I'm like, okay, fine. Let's do something for them. So the next leg that we are going to do is not a smartphone. You use and just use voice. So just use voice and have a chat with an engineer before you build your house. Call him when you want him in the middle of the night, and now it's possible. So we are trying to do it in at least 3 odd languages, but Neeraj and we are trying to work out that, if at all we need it to succeed. So the ambition is, yes, 20 odd Indian languages. Let's see if we can make that happen and when we make that happen. So I look at if there are any entrepreneurs out here to get me Indian languages in, and you have buyers.
Perfect. So you saw this amazing use case, right? That it's being, see, the solution in India cannot be one track, because we are talking about India with various demographics, device types, and consumers who are connecting to various bandwidths. You getting what I'm saying? So 350 million consumer 2G कच्चे रोड पे चल रहे हैं. Same India में 200 million consumers 5G super highways पे चल रहे हैं. Are you with me? This solution cuts across. For example, if you want to talk to an Ultratech का expert engineer on 5G superhighways, you simply scan Ultratech के back का logo, and engineer physically will walk in here. मेरे पास खड़ा होगा इधर. वो आपके साथ conversation कर रहा है. So elevated speeds पे same engineer ऐसे conversation करेगा. But bottom of the pyramid, see, देश, आप देश की बात करते हो, right? For a country to grow and become Viksit Bharat, you need to take your entire population together. You cannot leave a significant audience and say कि इसको Viksit Bharat बना लेंगे, right? This is a serious campaign. It's going to enable them in their home building journey, जहाँ पे कितने लोग उनको चूना लगा के चले जाते होंगे. आज एक बेसिक नंबर पे इतना इंटेलिजेंस है कि आप एक नंबर पे कॉल कर हर डिवाइस पे एक एक्सपर्ट से बात कर सकते हो. Today it's a expert engineer. Tomorrow it can be a nutritionist. Yeah, it can be someone who's providing a vaccine information. We did something for another brand, Didwania के लिए किया, which is about anti-bullying drive. कितने बड़े problems है. क्यों successful है? When you dumb down the technology and go to the olden days, टाटा टी गाँव चले, कितने लोगों को याद है? कैसे चलता था उस ज़माने में? एक मिस कॉल देते थे और कॉल बैक आता था, राइट? वो सेम कॉल बैक अभी 100 PhDs आपको कॉल कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि AI कॉल कर रहा है आपको, तो आपको गाइडेंस देगा. So that is the unlock which this platform kind of provides, yeah. And we started this journey with a friend of mine, Suresh, and today he is here, and 10 of his colleagues are traveling from Bangalore. We are going to spend the day at our experience center without an agenda. It's not that we have any agenda. We're just spending the day. I'm going to run a cascade saying that what has happened in the last 3 months, what's happening in the space of creative robotics, what's happening in the space of immersive worlds and stuff like that, right? And one of such conversations which we were doing in the early stages when I was building this product was around cricket. So what we are doing is, right now, it's not a product where I'm looking at 1,000 cases, but I'm looking at 10 meaningful cases in different client categories where I want to go and make a brand storytelling play or a meaningful purpose-driven campaign out there. So मैंने anti-bullying drive किया, women empowerment किया, home building किया, weather information sustainability आप जिसकी बात कर रहे हो, beat the heat, Sprite के लिए हमने एक campaign बनाया, we created a character. You call on a number and गांव का नाम बोलो, आपको बताता है कि temperature क्या है, humidity क्या है, without internet. That's sustainability. Millions of people were being nudged. El Nino season था, right? Likewise, Pafeti किया, where we got a lot of fun in people's life. And we wanted to do cricket is when we came to Suresh, and Yippee as a brand is very heavy on cricket. And guess what? For the first time ever, we cloned Surya Kumar Yadav and Bumrah, जो बहुत difficult voices हैं. We cloned them and we reached out to millions of people. More on this from Suresh.
So, thanks Neeraj. So much has been said about him, so I'll not blabber on it. I'll directly come to the point. So, from a serious segment like Ultratech, I think it's a life-changing thing for anybody, like Kanupriya was saying. The products that we as an ITC Limited deal in, these are all FMCG product. These are product for which nobody really think. Okay, you will not say that I will want to use this toothpaste today, okay, or I want to eat X biscuit today. This is almost like a muscle memory. And how do you build those muscle memory is kind of the mandate that I have, that how do you build that mental availability. Physical availability, yes, that is the biggest task. Even if you have mental availability, you will not get sales because there is no physical availability. So for me, it is about attention. And attention happens with very small things. So if I will now stand up, I will gain more attention. Now those are just the small things. So my life is about just getting that half a second extra or a 1 second extra when they go at an outlet. So, and for any brand, like Neeraj was saying and Kanupriya was saying, rural, upcountry as we call it sometimes, is extremely important. That's where bulk of the population live. That's where actually the percentage increase in income is much higher in those geographies versus say in the urban towns. And if you look at fundamentally, there is a lot of communication which keeps happening on packaged food. But if you compare it against a loose food, assume a samosa somebody is eating in a 5K population which is being talofied in that oil almost like 12 times. So it's the context in which packaged foods also needs to be seen. So packaged foods in the context of a rural, in the context of an upcountry is a better choice. Okay. So hence it is a win-win for everybody, for us definitely, but even for consumer. And here I am talking about the categories that I handle, which is noodle and snacks. It is true for them also. While we may see and hear so many things about palm oil, we might hear something about a maida. But if you compare, and in that context, it becomes really relevant that this is the better choice. Now, so hence the mandate or the discussions that we were having, and as Neeraj keeps saying, that it is not about having any brief. So this is just a meeting like we meeting today. There is no brief, there is nothing. It's just about exploration. And in this world, and over time as the tech is developing, the world is changing, it's all about partnership. It's all about having the right people, a right mindset. You jam together with no agendas and then something comes up. So in one of those meetings, and which was I think 2024, early 24, that we were just chatting up and we said, and I told him saying, in a top tier, in a metro, you always have these YouTube, you can do multiple things, multiple platforms. But I said that my objective is to go as deeper as possible. And that's where the entire discussion. So, and I still remember in his experience center, there was one feature phone which was kept. And while a lot of my team members were gravitating towards VR, etc., I was going towards that feature phone. And Neeraj came in and I said, what can we do with this? This is bulk of usage. So he said, this is not a feature phone. This is the smartphone. Because the AI engine which will go behind it is as smart that anybody can have. It is just a delivery mechanism. So I was so impressed with that idea. So that has stuck. And when we were doing certain campaigns, we got these cricketers in it. And entertainment is a very interesting thing. It's something that people look forward to. Cricket is definitely cricket and Bollywood are the two crazes that we have. So we thought maybe with this we can also gain certain attention. We can gain certain recall so that if somebody goes to outlet, maybe our brands will be preferred. So that's where and that was the time when a lot of these voices, etc., the people were more willing to share in order to clone and make them talk. It is changing very fast. Everybody is taking rights on their personalities, etc. But in that time, I think we were fortunate enough. We had a good relationship with the cricketer and they agreed for it. And that's when we developed something where Neeraj, our team, there were other partners of the creative team, all from WPP, between Hogarth, Ogilvy. We created something where there were micro-segmenting which was done within India. So there were different districts which are there. And as Kanupriya was saying, the way certain words are said in Awadhi and a Bhojpuri will change. So within the same geography, it's much beyond those 20 languages which she was talking about, because the 20 gets multiplied by dialects, which varies. And that's where I think the challenge is also to get it right, and Ultratech may be starting with only 3 as of now. So that was the challenge, and we worked with NIRAJ. We mapped between UP and Bihar. These were the two territories that we identified. Every geography got segmented into different GOI district, and every dialect was also being mapped on the back end. And then the campaign, and which was X at that point of time, could be different, but we were calling up people and addressing them either in that local district context. So it could be as simple as saying, hey, badao, and then you get into the context. So hence, the attention span that I talk about, maybe we were able to gain that 0.1 second more because we're talking to you as saying ki aap kahan hai, kya hai. So that helped. So then there were calls that you were getting from both the celebrity, and then in the final leg was a bridge where multiple people can connect, thousands people can connect on that bridge from their feature phone, and they can have a live conversation with a Boomra, Sky.
With their AI models.
Correct.
You guys, how many of you guys are aware about this platform which Modi ji used called Main Bhi Chaukidar? You remember 25 lakh people came on the bridge. So what we used for ITC was an instance of that. Thousands of people can come almost like a Zoom call without internet. They can come on a bridge, and there are AI models of Sky and Boomra. They are asking questions and they are answering back. That was first time ever.
So that was one experience, and obviously we have seen great result both as a brand. And I believe this is what is the kind of unlock that you generally see. Some problem starting, some thing that you have seen at a partner feature phone, then you realize that this can be a use case, then you get back and try and figure out saying what can we do. And the thing that we were talking about with Kanupriya and NIRAJ, in this context, it is about saying you can't be 100% right. You have to have a bias for action. If you're getting more than 60-65% is where that you need to take a punt and go ahead. And that's what I think NIRAJ enables through his entire work stream, is to go ahead, try. And we're seeing that from there, now we're moving to a stage where we're looking for now more solution into maybe multiple areas. So that belief will not come till the time you try it. You cannot try it if you try to be 100% perfect. So hence, like AI keeps learning from its own mistake, this is the world that as a marketer, as a partner, it is about going ahead, trying things, learn, improve. That's the only way that I see. And I think that is only possible if you have the right partner ecosystem, which sometime NIRAJ will also keep pushing you, let's do it. And sometime I'll push him. So that's how it is. And sure, Kanupriya would have also been pushed a lot, and she would have also pushed. So yeah.
May I ask, what kind of frustrations do you have in the whole process?
Oh.
The rejections. Because an audience like this, which is some of them are very strategic level audience. What kind of frustrations, rejections? For example, in my own company, to teach my team AI of 109 people, I have complete rejection. I have to actually force them to sit next to me. At 66, I can learn AI. But at 23 and 25, 30, they don't want to learn. So what kind of rejections?
So I'll just take that, and Neeraj can maybe further build on it. But the way that I see, first you have to prove to them that it is useful. That's the first case. Why should I change? Is it beneficial for me? Now, that's the first step. The next step is saying, how do you reduce friction in adoption? Okay, what is that? That fundamentally, when I talk to my team, and now there are all these chatbots, etc., it's almost like if you are operating on a computer and if you have to calculate a number, by default, Excel will open, not calculator. Because that is the muscle memory which has got built up. So in an AI ecosystem, the only thing that I do is that whenever somebody is coming to my team, there is a chair which is kept for even an AI individual. What is that this individual saying about the discussion that we having? Now, whether it is a positioning, whether it is a new promotion that you want to do. So that is the way, at least I have seen, that you assume there is one more person which is there, and you need to initially push your team to also talk to that person. And this is also not time consuming. Even if they have not done it, you say, come back after 10 minutes after discussing with that person. And that's where I've seen this is slowly building. I'll not say it is excellent, but this is slowly building as an habit where they see a value in it. So those are the only things that I would say. And eventually the third stage would be that it becomes as a muscle memory and it becomes a part of life.
Yeah, I mean, if you see any innovator today, not just me, but any innovator, our life starts with challenges. You know, because we don't do usual work of running ads on, I mean, YouTube, Facebook and stuff like that. What we do is there's no brief crafted for it. Basically, you are constantly spotting tech trends and you're trying to shape them by marrying it with creativity and thinking more meaningful solutions out there. So you meet any innovator, they must be experimenting in their own world, blue sky thinking much ahead of the time. So look, when there was no GPT models available, I went ahead and created my own clone. And I presented it at one of the conference where I was speaking in, and she was there with me. 4 years back, right? No GPT available. I had my 5 clients on the panel, and suddenly I flash my model, exactly looks like me, and I say, speak in Marathi, speak in Telugu, which I don't know, but he started speaking in that. And I spent 10 hours time to read the script, to create my model. Yeah, those days. And then when the technology matures and when the shoot time with the celebrity came down, I got my first campaign with Hrithik Roshan, where Hrithik spent 30 minutes original script reading Hrithik se karwaya humne. Uske baad we created a Raksha Bandhan campaign, and uske baad we did the mega campaign called Shah Rukh Khan Not Just a Cadbury ad, using the same AI synthesis technology which won India Titanium Lions. Not just WPP, it got glory to India. India kabhi Cannes Lions mein Titanium Lions nahi jeeta tha, pehli baar jeeta, right? This was coded by 2 partners, one from Ukraine called Respeecha and one Make in India startup called Rephrase, which just got acquired by Adobe, right? What they managed to do is they managed to get the celebrity time or the original script time down to 20 minutes. And we convinced Shah Rukh Khan to go for it and read the script. As we speak today, there is no time needed. You just need to sign a legal paper. Platforms have matured. We can crawl and we can create. Like Boomerang and Sky, there was no shoot done with them. Everything was crawled and we created that character out there, right? So if you ask me, or as an innovator, you need to constantly create prototypes ahead of time and show them कि ये future है. Automatically friction निकल जाएगा. तुम नहीं करोगे तो कोई और करेगा. My dad keeps telling me कि you got a head start because तुम्हारे पास तो Microsoft Office था. Now I tell my people that you've got WPP Open, which is one of the most sci-fi AI platforms which you are working with. Today there are 100 PhDs working with you at work. हमारे टाइम पे हम लोग एक्सेल खोल के पीपीटी खोल के चीजें करते थे. No, I can assign multi-agent task. मैं नहीं भी हूँ तो मैंने task assign किए हुए हैं. Agents will do all of that for me. Now there's a lot of money which is going into enabling and empowering these guys, like you said, your teams, right? So once you as a company, you start investing in AI platforms, which they have to co-work with and you're paying for it, you will make them work on it. If they don't work on it, they will lag behind. बाकी के employees की productivity आपको दिखाई देगी. वो बेचारा वही पुराने स्टाइल में एक्सेल सेट कर रहा है. ये बंदे ने आया, एजेंट्स डिफाइन किए, टप 10 लोगों के बराबरी का काम कर रहा है वो. Right? So that's the parallel which I tell people today, that you are working with some of the most sci-fi machines जिसके पैसे आपकी कंपनी दे रही है. So might as well leverage it and level up.
I think I would just like to close out what Niraj said. Okay, you actually just need that kind of passion.
And
you saw
close
it.
out the session also. I mean,
Yes.
Alok wants us to close out the session as well.
I think what is that Niraj has.
She has 2 minutes left.
Niraj has, and Niraj is here for a longer time, and you all must pick on his brain. But you need that passion. You do need a risk-taking capability. It's not as easy as he said it. Organizations like ours don't write blank checks. So I think as marketers, you do need to be a little brave. That is true. But the good part is that there is a lot of stability at the back end. I mean, the models have evolved quite a lot. It's not that you're jumping into the blue sky without knowing, without thinking, without doing. As long as your consumer insights and your tech partners are there, there have been huge frictions. Yes, you will fail for sure, but we don't fail in front of consumers. So that's the good news. So, you'll fail internally.
And I mean, just to round up, keep an open mindset, get the worlds to collide. If a 66-year-old gentleman, a legend, wants to make me as his buddy and learn from me, that says it all. ना? अगर उनको 66 पे सीखना है robotics, वो अपने आप में एक बहुत बड़ी चीज़ है. So what our leadership has done, they get our worlds to collide. We've got a creative genius, we've got a tech genius. They were all living in silos. Our leaders say, तुमको साथ में आना है, right? I'll give you a classic example. जब ये नहीं भी था, हमने यंग सचिन बनाया था. कितने लोगों ने यंग सचिन का कैंपेन देखा? 11-year-old, right? कैसे किया हमने? There was no NLG models open to consumers out there. Me and the CCO, Chief Creative Officer of VML, we were jamming. That was our first experiment by our leadership. They said, ये टेक का बंदा है, ये क्रिएटिव का बंदा है, इनको एक रूम में बैठा दो, एक ब्रीफ पे काम करेंगे, राइट? सो मुकुंद टेल्स मी, आई एम वर्किंग ऑन एन इंश्योरेंस कॉम्स. आई डोंट वांट टू डिजाइन अ कम्युनिकेशन और कॉम्स जहाँ पे मैं कंज्यूमर को डराऊं कि आप पॉलिसी ले लो, मर गए तो फैमिली का क्या होगा. तो मैंने बोला इंश्योरेंस की पॉलिसी तो ऐसे ही बिकती है, क्या करना है तुझे? तो उसने बोला मुझे कुछ प्रोग्रेसिव करना है, मेरे पास सचिन है. जैसे ही उसने बोला सचिन है, माई माइंड जस्ट वेंट इन माई जोन, विच इज आई वॉज क्रिएटिंग माई मॉडल्स ना बैठ के. तो मैंने उसको बोला अरे यंग सचिन बना देते हैं ना. यंग सचिन टीवी पे जाके बोलेगा मैं अपने फ्यूचर से डरा नहीं, मैंने अपने फ्यूचर के लिए प्रेप किया. एजिस फेडरल भी यही करता है, फ्यूचर के लिए प्रेप करता है. ही लव द कॉन्सेप्ट, क्लाइंट लव द कॉन्सेप्ट, वी लॉक्ड इट. यंग सचिन गया, 11 साल का जेन अल्फा सचिन, और बोलता है इतना डरते क्यों है लोग फ्यूचर से. ये पॉसिबल था अगर वो हम दोनों नहीं मिलते तो. सो लीडरशिप, समवेयर लीडर्स लाइक CVL Srinivas, you would have known our country head, right? Leadership gets people together, worlds to collide, and then they create mini leaders जो जाके बड़े लीडर्स बनते हैं और फोरम्स पे आके बात करते हैं और कोलैबोरेट करते हैं, खाली चर्चा नहीं करते, राइट? सो इट इज जस्ट अबाउट लीडरशिप इन योर रेस्पेक्टिव ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस. एंड Mr. Bhatia is still here, another 60 years, you will go strong and create more IPs. Thank you guys, thank you.